So after discussing the latest trailer for Avengers Doomsday yesterday, let's talk today about another MCU trailer. This is VisionQuest, which is a new TV series in the MCU and based on the character Vision, played of course by Paul Bettany. This show is the conclusion of a 3-part trilogy series, beginning with WandaVision, continuing with Agatha All Along, and this is the 3rd series in that trilogy. Vision has been back since WandaVision, thanks to Wanda Maximoff's magic. His body was, of course, restored by SWORD, the Sentient Weapon Observation and Response Division. By the looks of the trailer, Vision is again passing himself off in the real world as a human man, while also having a second life inside his android head, where other AI characters exist in a simulation, including Ultron, played by James Spader. So he will appear as both the android, Ultron, but mostly as an AI program inside Vision's mind. Definitely the highlight of the trailer is James Spader. He's kind of a father figure now to Vision, given that he was technically responsible for Vision's creation in Age of Ultron. Ultron had the vibranium body constructed, but Thor's lightning did the rest of the work, of course. It looks like the heart and soul of this show is going to be the relationship and the chemistry between Vision and Ultron. And Ultron is such a great character and I think one of the best MCU villains. And James Spader is phenomenal in that role, and I'm sure he will be here once again. So the show is Vision trying to figure out his life following his resurrection, despite having no emotions anymore. And he has his memories back, but he's struggling to reconcile his past with who and what he is now. Now, what especially interests me about this show is that Terry Matalas is the showrunner, and I'm a fan of his work, and he's writing and directing episodes of this show. So this show is really his baby, and you will remember Terry from the very successful 12 Monkeys TV show and Star Trek Picard Season 3. And so Terry is a writer who has a strong, proven track record of making quality TV shows. So I'm encouraged by that. Now, some of the characters in Vision's mind include Edwin Jarvis, played by James Darcy, who appeared in Agent Carter, the TV show. Orla Brady is playing Friday. She, of course, was Tony Stark's AI assistant from Age of Ultron onwards after AI Jarvis became Vision. Emily Hampshire will play Edith. You may remember Edith as the AI in Tony Stark's glasses that were left to Peter Parker in Spider-Man Far From Home. And Todd Stashwick will also appear on the show. He worked with Terry Matalas on both Picard Season 3 and 12 Monkeys. I like the look of this show. Bright, colourful, and easy on the eye. Beautiful cinematography. It looks like a fun comic book fantasy show. And I like the simulated environments that Vision inhabits. And he has a world within him, I guess, a virtual reality, a home, and people who work for him there. And we see the return of Ultron, but he will mostly be in a human avatar form. And Jarvis warns him of the dangers of keeping him around, keeping him in his consciousness. And so I think what can make Ultron so sinister is that he's possibly looking for his opportunity when it presents itself. But until then, he'll likely be a temporary ally to Vision. It's just great to see James Spader back in the role. He brings gravitas, massive charisma, charm, levity, and intensity to Ultron. An incredible, incredible actor. So Vision has to deal with the fact that he now somehow has a son. And so that feels kind of reminiscent to Picard, Picard Season 3. Picard Season 3, when Picard discovered he had a son in Jack Crusher. And so it looks like the theme of belonging and family and a father-son story are central to this series. Also, Matalas has compared Vision's arc in this series to Spock's arc in Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home, in terms of the journey he goes on, rediscovering himself post-resurrection. Vision is trying to discover what is and isn't real, and I suppose what he's supposed to value now. His relationship with Wanda in WandaVision was actually fictitious inside the world of Westview. and he's trying to discern what aspects of himself, what memories should matter, and he appears to remember his past, but is uncertain as to how to integrate it into the man he is now. And in many ways, I really like when sci-fi can tell stories about relatable stages and aspects of life through allegory like this. And like, for example, a midlife crisis, you might say, of sorts. And, you reach a stage in life, a certain age, questions inevitably arise of, is this all there is? Is this who I'm supposed to be? What am I supposed to do with the rest of my life? What's going to characterize the rest of my life? And these are relatable questions many of us ask ourselves at a certain age as we get older and people around us die, relationships or in some cases friendships fade away. And there's a sense of rediscovery and a need to reinvent oneself. And here's Vision inhabiting and also interacting with aspects of his former life inside a virtual recreation. A little bit like Backrooms to a degree. Now, this is very dreamlike to me, and I'm fascinated by dream psychology. So you may have had that dream where you're in your home, but you discover new rooms in your home. But in the dream, you're aware on some level that these undiscovered parts of the house were always there, and you wonder why you never used those rooms. And that's quite a common type of dream. I had one dream not so long ago where I'm in my house and I discover an entire wing of the house and it turns into a hotel. So in dream psychology, your house is usually a symbolic representation of your mental state, your mind, the self, right? And so discovering new or forgotten parts of that house are like reminders of what you have within you. More capacity, that you have more potential within you than you think. And people report this dream is quite common during a major life transition or when you feel stuck in a rut, right? So we can develop a very restrictive model of our life in the waking world. Your unconscious, on the other hand, has access to so much more of your autobiographical memory than your conscious self. And so these dreams about a house within you that grows and new hidden rooms, ever-increasing spaces, forgotten geography. This is a map of you and an unconscious reminder that before you go thinking that this stage in your life is all there is, think again. And I like stories that explore character growth in that way. And Vision seems to be on that kind of journey, quest, to reclaim a sense of lost self, lost agency. And there's no better means to anchor and orient a person towards meaning than the sense of responsibility that parenthood brings. Look, I could be easily reading way too much into this trailer. So sometimes I just want to rant like that. But anyway, Ultron tells him to free us all and save your son. And it could be seen as a metaphor for letting go of aspects of your past, parts of you that are no longer helpful, that you no longer need, in order to prepare yourself for the next most important responsibility in your life, which is parenthood, right? So you need to become someone better than you currently are in order to, become that father figure. Things that you've been holding on to, aspects of yourself that are no longer relevant, can be let go as part of your transition into the next version of you that you're becoming. Like, I'm just riffing here. I have no idea what the show could be like. I could be off base here, but the basic concept of the show intrigues me, and I see quite a bit of potential in this show. So anyway, I shall wrap the video up there. Thank you very much for listening to me ramble on. Let me know your thoughts on the VisionQuest trailer in the comments below. What did you think of it? Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and make sure to hit the notification bell to be notified of future updates on Computing Forever. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.